Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Litecoin and look at its valuation against USD and against Bitcoin. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Now that Bitcoin has moved past 20K, we don't yet know if it's sustainable, but if it can sustain it at least for the short term, there's a good chance Litecoin could continue to rally. Now, of course, it has already started the rally, and we've talked about this on several live streams over the last couple weeks about this move that Litecoin has been on, but I thought I would do a dedicated video on just Litecoin. So, one of the things with Litecoin is that it does not tend to do well against Bitcoin for a majority of the market cycle. Since February of 2018, even with the current rally, Litecoin is still down about 79-80% against Bitcoin. So it is easy to get excited about these moves because, 50 or 60% moves are great. However, it is still 80% down against Bitcoin. So no matter how you slice it, not holding Litecoin for the last 3 years would have been a pretty good move if the objective was to, say, outperform Bitcoin, because you can see that it has trended down. It did have a pump going into the halving and then a dump right at the halving, but more or less it has trended down. Now we're all the way down here, and on the Litecoin USD chart, it's really been pumping, right? I mean, since September, if we take a measured move from, say, October 1st, it's up around 200%. So a pretty significant move. Now, the top that it had in 2019 was around $160. So that might be an area to look out for. Right now, it's only at 121. If you take a line here and you just connect these peaks, for the most part, you can see, let's actually go to not the wick, but the body of the candle. You can see that we've more or less broken out from if that was any type of resistance, which, my opinion on these lines, I don't really think they mean a whole lot, but if there was any type of resistance there, we're past that. We're past that point. So now what we want to do is try to figure out, well, has Litecoin's time come for a major move? Yes, it's up considerably in the last few weeks. Will it continue, right? That's what's important. And of course, the short answer is, well, as long as Bitcoin is doing what it's doing, then Litecoin will most likely follow. However, the its valuation against USD is somewhat irrelevant, right? Because the idea of holding Litecoin, especially during this phase of the market cycle, is, well, if you're going to hold it, you want it to outperform Bitcoin. Because if you're just going to expose yourself to more volatility, more risk, you want to see a higher ROI. And if you go back and look at the Litecoin Bitcoin chart, it is still pretty significantly down over the last 3 years. The question again is this the turnaround point? Well, it has been in the past. In March, February of 2017, when Bitcoin got above the prior all-time high, Litecoin turned around against Bitcoin. Okay, here again, maybe this is the move where it turns around against Bitcoin. It's too early to say. You have to more or less speculate on whether you think Bitcoin is going to remain this bullish over the next few weeks. And if you do, then Litecoin will probably trend up against USD, but it might not make any major moves against Bitcoin until Bitcoin calms down while also maintaining itself above the prior all-time high. So it's a risk that you can choose to take. For the last 3 years, I would say it would not have been worth the risk. Now you could argue that it might be worth the risk at this point, considering where Bitcoin is. But again, you need to temper your expectations on your time frame. Okay, temper your expectations on the time frame. Now, looking over at Litecoin Bitcoin valuation, it tends to trend down for the most part, right? These peaks, especially if you draw that up to the wick, they are more or less decreasing. And so because of this, it's just something to keep in mind if in fact Litecoin were to rally on back up to the top. Just keep in mind that over the macro scale, it has been bleeding against Bitcoin. So I would say, don't get too greedy and assume that this time necessarily has to be the new normal, where it just continues to come up and up and up and outperform prior valuations of Litecoin against Bitcoin, because I really don't think it will. I really don't think it will have the capability of doing that. So just wanted to do a short video on Litecoin against USD, Litecoin against Bitcoin. We already did one on XRP a few days ago, so you know where I stand there as well. Hopefully these videos are informative for trying to gauge where these coins are at various phases of the market cycle. For the last year or two, I've said, you know, it's a tall order to take this on, but now given Bitcoin's location above the prior all-time high, you need to figure out if it's worth the risk or not for you. Hopefully this is useful. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Check out the holiday sale for the premium list in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.